Hi everybody, this is going to be a quick review of Learning Target 3.1. Target 3.1 is basically analyzing a chemical formula using subscript. In the very first question, you need to remember that there's 8 valence electrons that make an element chemically stable. So how many electrons are needed in the outer energy level for most atoms to be stable? The answer would be 8. The exceptions are hydrogen and helium. They only need 2 outer valence electrons because they only fill up the very first level, which only holds 2. Number 2, how many atoms of hydrogen are present in a molecule of aspirin? Hydrogen is H, and since it has a subscript of 8, that simply means there's 8 atoms. Number 3, how many atoms of hydrogen are in a molecule of magnesium hydroxide? In this particular problem, keep in mind this is a polyatomic group. OH is in parentheses, so actually underline it. The outside subscript of 2 tells me I'm going to have 2 repeats of OH. So if I were to visualize this, the Mg, there's only one of them. The OH is in parentheses, so OH is going to be repeated 2 times because that outside subscript says 2. So there would be 2 separate atoms of hydrogen in that molecule. Number 4, why do noble gases not form compounds? They have a completely full outer electron energy level. So they have an octet, so they do not want to gain, lose, or share electrons. Number 5, they want you to draw some pictures to represent the molecules. Calcium chloride, the Ca has no subscript, so that simply means there's one atom. Now I don't have a thing to draw circles, but basically there's one calcium. My Cl has a 2 next to it, so I need to have 2 separate chlorines bonded to the calcium. Aluminum oxide hydroxide is a little more complicated. Aluminum is by itself, so that means there's only one single aluminum atom. Again, the OH is in parentheses, so underline that. Basically, the outside subscript of 3 tells me I'm going to have 3 OHs branching off of that aluminum. At the bottom, this last part is where we simply wanted you to interpret the equation, the formula. So HF has hydrogen as the first element, fluorine as the second. Nobody had any trouble with that first part. In this last 2 columns, they want you to identify how many atoms. Since H has no subscript, there's only one atom of H. Since F has no subscript, that simply means there's only one atom of F. In calcium bromide, there's no number next to calcium, so that simply means there's one atom of calcium. There's a 2 next to the bromine. That means there's 2 atoms of bromine. Lastly, aluminum oxide. The Al is aluminum, the O is oxygen, of course. The 2 next to aluminum tells me I have 2 atoms of aluminum, and the 3 just simply tells me I have 3 atoms of oxygen.